Okay guys, here's some homework help on 8.6a. First of all, I only would like you to do the even problems. Just the even problems. And notice that I did give you graphs on these, and so you can label them however you want. As an example, number 2, notice that you're going to have 2 pi over pi, which is just 2. So if I were doing this one, in fact, we could do this one real quick just to get you started. I would label my axes in terms of numbers and not in terms of radians, if that makes sense. So you're just going to fill in the chart. So remember, the period is 2 pi over b. B is pi, so you're going to say 2 pi over pi, which is 2, and there's your period. The amplitude, remember, is the number in front of the word sine. There is no reflection, so I'll just write none. Remember, the phase shift is your h. There's no parentheses there, so there's none there. The vertical shift, there's no k, so you can just write none there. So then I would notice that it's a sine function. Remember, a sine function starts on your midline and ends on your midline. So I would start at 0, 0. The period is at 2, so maybe I might go, this is 1, this is 2, so this is 0.5, 1.5, you know, just to kind of give myself a little bit of room there. And then I would say, okay, so I know I'm going to start at 0, I'm going to end at 2, I'm going to go right to the middle. And then remember, the middle of those two, you're going to apply your amplitude of 4. And then down over here, 4. And just draw your nice, smooth curve. And there's your number. That would be the answer to number 1. Okay? So you're just going to do the even problems. So the first sections are just your signs. Let's take a look at these. So you're just going to do number 6, number 8, and number 10. Number 10 kind of has it all. It has a reflection, it has a phase shift, it has a vertical displacement. Let me do another one, and then on this third page is just your cosine functions. Once again, just the evens. Let me do, how about I'll look at number 16. It's kind of a, let me just look on the other page too. Like, I would probably ask you guys if you just had one you wanted me to do. I'm just looking here, 20. Ooh, maybe instead of that one, let's look at number 20. Number 20 has everything going on here. Let me give number 20 as an example for you guys. So first of all, remember, b is the coefficient of x. It's just 1. So the period is 2 pi over b, which is just 2 pi. So that means that the graph will go from 0 to 2 pi. The amplitude is the number in front of cosine, so the amplitude is going to be 3. There is no reflection, so we'll just put none. The phase shift is going to be left pi over 2. And the vertical shift is going to be down 2. Okay, and so once I have that filled in, then I can come over here. Remember, cosine starts at amplitude, ends at amplitude. So I'm going to get the points on the side, on the midline, and then I'll do the shifting. So remember, the vertical shift is at -2, so that means that this becomes my midline. Dang it. Try to make it straight. So this becomes my midline, and remember, a cosine function starts at your amplitude, ends at the amplitude. So I'm going to start at 3 units from the midline, right? So 1, 2 starts here. And let's label this. So let's make this, what are we going up to? 2 pi. So let's make this pi over 2 pi 3 pi over 2, and we'll make this 2 pi here. So we're going to go to 2 pi, so there's there. And then from your midline, you're going to go to the middle of that and go down 3. 1, 2, 3, so it'd be at 3 pi over 2. And then you're going to go to the middle of those, go to your midline. Okay, now that would be my curve without my phase shift, right? But it says that we want to take that and go left pi over 2. Well, I made pi over 2 1 dash over. So I'm going to take each point and go 1 dash to the left. So this is going to go left 1 dash, right? This is going to go left 1 dash. Oops, and yeah, that shouldn't have been there. Sorry, it's down here. Down 1 dash. Down here 1 dash. Right here 1 dash. Right here 1 dash. And so there is your graph. That red graph right there is the graph of number 20. Okay. All right, and then let's take a look at the review. Oh, one thing about the matching part is what I would do is I would narrow it down based on what the period is and then based on the amplitude. Like for instance, number 24, B is just 1, so we know it's going to go 0 to 2 pi. And however, there is a phase shift of left to pi. But then I would also look at 1. Well, remember, cosine function starts and ends at amplitude. So that might not be a really good example, but I would just say, okay, so I'm going to go, cosine function goes from 0 to 2 pi, left pi. So I'm going to go from 0 to 2 pi, left pi. 0 to 2 pi would be the cosine function, and then go left pi. Well, pi, if you notice, is 2 dashes over, and notice that this starts at 1 at pi. Right, and then 1, 1. So this could be a really good possibility for number 24. But that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of looking at the amplitude of 1. Like here I know it's not going to be C because the amplitude is at 4. Here I know that this one, the amplitude's too high. Amplitude is too high. And this one, it's a different midline. You know what I mean? So you can a lot of times narrow down just by looking at some basic things there. Okay, last thing, let's look at the review. Find the 15th term of the sequence. So this is from Unit 6. Remember the rule was a sub 1 plus n minus, oh wait a minute, that would be if it's arithmetic. Is this arithmetic or geometric? It looks like it's geometric, times 2 times 2 times 2. So that would be true if it was arithmetic. This one's geometric. So remember, geometric is a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1, right? So the rule would be 3 times, and remember the ratio is 2 times n to the 1. So if I wanted to know the 15th term, I would go 3 times 2 to the 15 minus 1, or 14th power. So then I would need to calculate that. Let me grab my calculator. Okay, so we would say 2 to the 14th power. There it is. Okay, so 2 xy 14th, and then times that by 3. And I got 49,152. Okay. And then the second one says, using the sequence from number 1, what is the sum of the first 10 terms? So remember, the sum formula of a geometric was you take, I believe it was a sub 1 times 1 minus r to the n all over 1 minus r. So we would do a sub 1, which is 3. 1 minus 2, we're looking for the first 10 terms, all over 1 minus r. Okay, I don't know. Okay, so what I would probably do is, 1 minus 2 to the 10th. Let me see here. 1 minus 2 caret 10. I got negative 1023. But I'm just going to be dividing that by a negative 1. So really, this is just 1023. Now you're going to times that by 3. 2, 6, 3 times 0, so you get 3,069. Last one, practice ACT. You want to treat grouping symbols like any parentheses. So this is a 2. So it's going to be negative 3, absolute value of 2, which is just going to be negative 6. This part here is going to be a positive 2, but that still remains negative. So the answer is G. All right, guys, that's it. All right, that's homework help on 8.6a. We'll do 8.6b next week.